how did it do in the ratings? I guess it went over real big. I got a lot of press beforehand. A. Martinez here last June, the day before the Emmy Awards, when he won the award for Best Actor in the Daytime Serials. A has thousands of passionately devoted fans who adore him as the rugged and heroic Cruz on Santa Barbara.
Love that name. Cruz.
Cruz.
Why don't you change your name to Cruz Philbin?
I think that's funny. I think I would have changed my name to R. Just call me R. But here he is to tell us about his new show, which is on tomorrow night, called Out of This World. It's a horror show. It's a primetime movie on television. Here's A. Martinez. How are you, Regis?
I'm fine, Regis. Good to see you.
How you doing?
Thank you.
Oh, those devoted fans, huh?
Thank God.
They are, boy.
I've seen promos for the movie.
Yeah.
Where you're looking out and you're saying, something's out there.
And that something wasn't out there when you were filming the scenes, right?
That's true. That's true. We spent a lot of time having to pretend that thing was threatening us.
That must
Where
be
do you
tough.
get that from? When where do you come up with those scenes?
You try to remember things in your own life that have proved equally threatening, and you try to imagine that feeling is what you're into at the moment. I think when I was in kindergarten, I had a problem with hearing the teacher end recess. She would come out with a little whistle and blow the whistle when it's time for us to go back in and resume our...
Sinking feeling in your heart when you heard that whistle?
Well, I just got in the habit of not hearing it, and all of a sudden I'd sort of come to, and I was always fantasizing various wild adventures out on the jungle gym. And I'd sort of like all of a sudden become aware that I was the only person left out there. And of course the teacher thought that I was doing this on purpose. And I swear to this day, if she's watching, Mrs. French, I was not doing it on purpose. I couldn't help myself. And one day she said, okay, if you do this again, I'm going to send you to the principal's office. Well, I made a pact to myself. I couldn't allow this to happen. So then from then on at recess, I just basically wouldn't enjoy myself. I would just wait for it to be over, you know, sort of stand on the sidelines. But then one day, you know, there I was at the jungle gym on the top all by myself, and she was standing outside the door with her hands on her hips. She sent me to the principal's office, to Mrs. Quiet, big old paddle.
You never forget, do you?
And, you know, you're walking up to Mrs. Quiet's desk, and you think, you know, this is the end, you know, for me. And
life as I know it is about to come to an end.
That's right. So when I had to pretend that the giant 18-foot creature was threatening me, I just started to remember the vibe of being in Mrs. Quiet's office.
Hey, I'm sure that makes Mrs. Quiet really feel great.
Well, you know.
That you thought about her when you were supposed to be looking at a monster.
Well,
just great.
You know.
When you're that young, they seem like a monster.
He was awfully big.
What ultimately happened? Did you get a paddle?
Yeah, I got the paddle that day, and that's a drag, isn't it? I mean, I wasn't doing it on purpose. Unbelievable.
The injustices of this world.
Did it sting?
Well, yeah, they had that kind of special paddle with the holes in it, so when they swung it, there was no air resistance, you know? So it goes right on your rear end, and it definitely cured me for a long time.
You stopped daydreaming, huh?
Yeah.
Fantasizing.
You know.
But even then, you had powers of concentration that you've used now as an actor.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're not kidding. These scenes are difficult to do because there are special effects involved here.
That they add later.
Right, that they add later, and you see the whole package together, but he really doesn't, you just know basically what they're going to do, but
that's
there's
right.
nothing there.
This creature was designed by Alex Rimbaldi. His family was responsible for the creature in E.T., the E.T. creature, and for the guy in Alien and stuff. And they're wonderful creatures, but they take a lot of manpower and energy to make them actually function. So when you're doing your scenes with the creature, basically you have to pretend he's doing his thing, and you just imagine it as you go along.
Where does this creature come from in the plot?
He comes from someplace in outer space in a meteor shower. Lands in a small town in Missouri. I play the sheriff of the town. Lisa Hartman is the leading lady. She's an electrical engineer who's in there establishing a giant electrical generating facility. Just so happens this creature likes electricity.
Oh, what are
One
those
thing leads
creatures?
to another.
Probably likes Lisa Hartman a little bit, too.
Lisa Hartman is not hard to like.
No.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
Pretty lady.
Yeah.
Now, let's take a look at the clip here. A is trying to prevent Lisa from going out in her car because he knows it's out there.
Walt is her uncle, by the way. Walt, who we refer to.
Take a look at this. He's out there.
I want you to stay here. I want you to go back inside.
What's wrong?
It's not safe to go out on the roads right now, so you just go in there and lock up And I'll bring Doc and Billy back here.
What is it?
We followed it into the woods. We thought... we lost Walt. I'm sorry.
A. Martinez in A Fight for His Life. I love being scared by the movies, you know?
Yeah, me too. Some of the great performances I've ever seen were in situations where people are facing things that they can't comprehend. I remember in the film Alien, Sigourney Weaver coming around the corner trying to get that cat out of that cage, and that thing was around there. And she had such a thing going that was so primal and irrefutable that I was...
You really got, as an actor, you've got to psych yourself up for those scenes, don't you? I mean, otherwise it's not going to ring true.
It's especially true for actors who depend on other people, which should be all of us, right? Although you get the impression some actors are basically working in a sealed environment inside their own minds.
But it is a give and take situation.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, you know, I mean, I always feel like when I'm working with Marcy Walker on Santa Barbara, when we're really doing our scenes, Marcy Walker, that the scenes are actually playing themselves sometimes. There's an energy between us that is definitely greater than the sum of its generating parts. And all of a sudden, the climax usually of a film like this is when you have to start sort of going in your imagination, and it becomes a little bit of a challenge. But I must say, I think this film is wonderful. A young director named John Hess, just getting started, and a very special talent directed it. He was the producers, Don Enright and Les Alexander. This guy's Barry Enright took a chance on him. Could have given it to a lot of other people, but didn't. You know, gave it to the young guy and gave him a shot, and he did a tremendous job.
Oh, that's nice.
And I think people will be impressed with it on a lot of levels beyond the fact that it's
high praise from A.
Very nice.
Martinez.
That's very
A. Martinez likes this one.
Because the public's not really thinking about the director when they're watching something, but he ultimately is the person who has made it all come together.
Yeah, he made a lot of
Or
really
she.
interesting choices in this case. I mean, you know, you don't see me getting to play the sheriff of a town in Missouri too often. You know, a guy named Tom Conway. For him to do that is sort of amazing, I think. I thank God he did it.
Well, it's on tomorrow night on CBS at 9 o'clock, Out of This World. Thanks, very much for coming along. Yes, we're calling for you to get that done. We'll be right back. We're going to meet our wedding couple that have a wedding night fashion show. Ali Sheedy, lots going on.